Have you ever covered a carpet stain with a rug? Ignored a leaky faucet? Pretended your half-painted living room is supposed to look that way? Well, you're not alone. We've all got unfinished home projects. Whether it's a door that sticks, or a disorganized closet, or an AC unit that only works half the time. It all matters. You just haven't taken care of it yet. But there's an easier way. Just download the Thumbtack app. You can search for what you need done and find tons of highly rated pros right in your neighborhood. Check prices, reviews, and book a pro right on the spot. Plus, you'll know what to tackle next, because Thumbtack is the app that shows you what to do, who to hire, and when. Pull out your phone and in just a few taps, say goodbye to all those unfinished home projects and say hello to caring for your home the easier way. Download Thumbtack and start a project today.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
yes, goal,
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
Temp check. What kind of summer are we having this year? A family road trip summer? A beach bum summer? Or a wake me when the sun sets summer? With Instacart, choose your own adventure and skip the shopping side quests. Where available, you can get ice cream delivered to your hotel, sunscreen to the pool, or cold brew to your bed. Well, door. In as fast as 30 minutes. Wherever you find yourself this summer, you can get the goods. Download Instacart for free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Excludes restaurants. Additional terms and fees apply.
Stand by for action.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
I've been to Vegas 4 times in my life. The last time I went, I took $800. At the end of night 1, I had $50 left. I went to work and created a bundle of cash. You hawk your watch to get out of Vegas.
Hawk your watch?
You lose everything.
Jeff Lutz.
I don't know what that means. Somebody explain that to me. Somebody born in the 30s. I mean, I'll give you what I know, but I don't know much.
And Jason Duda. For today, anyway.
Let's get to Jason Duda, who's in Las Vegas.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sitting with a cocktail.
Woohoo! This is so proud of my drunkenness. What a look.
I'm not drunk yet.
Joe.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Only the best for your special playtime.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome a Wednesday edition of the Bob and Jeff Show. I had to stop and think there for a minute. Bob Lutz, Jeff Lutz, Jason Duda in the 3-man booth today here on the show. A lot of rain swept in last night. Did you get a lot out of your places?
None. What? Did not rain at all.
Really? Really?
It went right around. It didn't go around us. We were like in the middle of 2 different little things, and it just split us. And no rain out in the country, the farm.
Well, it just deluged here.
Yeah, it poured at our place, too.
We came out this way to get Freddy's, but by then it had stopped raining. Got a little ice cream last night. It was a good time.
How'd it go? After the win?
Yeah, it was about 9 o'clock. Good win last night, obviously.
How'd you feel about that one?
It was
Guardians
it was
down
like
5-0 early, come back and beat Seth Lugo and the Royals.
I got so high that the crash was pretty hard last night. So I felt like, let's go get some ice cream. Let's have a little pick me up here. Let's not end this day on feeling rough, you know. So
you felt rough?
It was like the come down was pretty hard. I was amped. I was unlike I've ever been during a game for some reason.
Really?
It was bizarre. I was cooking dinner. I was yelling at the guys. I was cheering for them. I was trying to pump them up. I was getting them ready, and they pulled through for me. But it was tough.
For you?
It was tough getting them there. Yeah, for me.
That's the most delusional little snippet of words I've ever heard.
Duda, how do you feel about it?
Well, he's not going to relate to that.
Not sure that they did it for you because you were at home.
But it was for me. I mean, it wasn't against me. It was a thing that was a positive in my life. It was for me. It was It was good.
Well, that's one way to look at it that I can understand.
But then to feel negative after
I
it
didn't feel
happened.
negative. The crash was a little hard. You know how you get so high that the come down is a little difficult. I wasn't feeling bad about the win or anything. Man, that was an emotional experience. I'm not sure.
We have Bobby Wood Jr. to thank for it and his misstep that turned into a misplay.
How about Josh Naylor to thank, who beat him to the bag at second, forced him to throw on the run, and almost sort of kind of forced him into a bad throw that plated 3. So that's Guardians baseball. We hustle. Not a lot of first baseman lugging types are gonna win that race to second base, but Josh Naylor did, and we got the W. Another stellar performance from a bullpen that has been fantastic. Tristan McKenzie pitched pretty good, except he gave up.
Bobby Wood just
gave up the homers.
2 500-foot home runs against him.
Yeah.
Other than that, fine, I guess. I know you didn't watch the ball game. We texted you about it last night, and you were oblivious.
Is that what you were texting me about?
Didn't know what was going on.
I knew they were up 5-0, but then when you text me, what? Just because Cleveland went ahead?
Cleveland didn't go ahead. They won.
But they'd went ahead when you guys text me.
No, that was after the win.
No, I think it was during the game.
It was during the game.
No, it wasn't. It was right after.
At 8:14. The game wasn't over.
It was right after the win, and yes, it was. The game was 2.5 hours. It started at 5:40.
Whatever. Either way, it doesn't matter. That's all I could think of, and I was like, what's the big deal? It's one baseball game out of 162.
It's not one game.
They
There's
came
no
back
such
and
thing
won.
But it's a
So
big
what?
series. It's a big series. You would you would say that.
I would agree, but it's not going to define who's going to win the division or not.
It's not going to not define it.
What if the Guardians sweep this series and go up 9 games?
7,
whatever. But wouldn't that? I don't know that it would nail things down, but
it's a nice little
pretty
cushion.
big effect, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, like Jeff said, it would be a cushion, but it is the beginning of June. There's lots of baseball left.
A lot of baseball.
There is a lot
Am
of
I
baseball
happy
left.
that they got the win just for Jeff? Sure, that's great.
Well,
Did
you
it
could have
really
said
matter? Not
I
really.
mean, as a friend, you could have said, "Hey, good win. Happy for you."
But
Starting what did he say?
I don't know what he said. So is that why you guys texted me? I don't know, something.
I didn't even get into it because I knew what you guys were doing, so I wasn't going to bite.
Well, all I said was Jeff's going to be insufferable tomorrow on the
smarter
show.
than
That's
you
not quite
two.
what you said. You're smarter than us too? Wow,
Oh,
that's
by
the first
far.
time that revelation has been.
You can't possibly believe that.
Here, you guys said Jeff's going to be feeling it tomorrow. Get ready, dudes. I'll be a force of nature. I said, okay. Bob goes, way to react. React to what? I don't really even know what you're talking about, but I'm
you
sure
just
you'll
said
fill
you
me in
kind of
tomorrow.
did know what we were talking.
So you lied to us.
And if you're so
I just
smart,
didn't-
you could have pretty easily figured it out.
Well, I did have it figured out, but I wasn't going to allow you guys to think that I didn't know. And if I play into it, then you guys are just going to keep going. And I was like, no,
Not
I'll wait
really.
till
I mean,
tomorrow.
We were
No,
talking.
I'm smarter than both of you, so I didn't get into it on a text thread last night.
Smarter than both of us.
It wasn't.
Smarter.
It wasn't that I was thrilled that Cleveland won. I was just saying simply, man, Jeff's going to be. It's going to be a lot to handle tomorrow.
Oh, I don't think so. It's one game. Jeff knows that.
I do know it. We got another one today, although the forecast in Cleveland does not look promising. Guardians trying a bullpen type game today, going with an opener. So we'll see how that goes.
That rarely goes well.
Oh, it goes well.
Whoa.
Our bullpen, nobody ever scores on them. I'm not trying to jinx it or anything, but
Boy,
if you're going to have an opener, you might as well do it with the best bullpen in baseball.
What time?
See what I mean?
Just with all that being said, you know they're getting crushed. What time's the game start?
5:40.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to drive down to the Star.
My game starts at 6. I thought you were coming to my game tonight.
We will. We will come to the game.
Really? You're
Sure.
foregoing the Guards?
I'll watch it. I mean, I don't.
Are you going to watch that or my game?
I got Bally Sport. I don't like watching the Royals broadcast. I just don't like it. It's not that they're bad. It's not Rex Hudler. I just want to watch my team's broadcast. Nothing against the Royals, folks. Absolutely nothing.
But what are you going to watch? That game or my game?
We're going to go out to your game. How many times do I have to say it?
But again, the question is, if you have it on your phone, which game are you going to watch?
I'll pay attention to both. I'll have game day on. I'm not going to watch the game on my phone.
Oh, you're just going to have a radio broadcast.
No, just play-by-play stuff.
So
Why not listen? Do you have the MLB at bat?
Of course.
Why not listen to?
Don't want to. I don't like hanging on. I don't like.
He's nervous. Man,
What? Why?
I live for these games. And he can't take it, dude.
I'm always nervous about the Guardians.
You're all pumped up because the Cardinals just scored another 2 runs.
I'm not that pumped up.
Oh, look at you. You're fired right up.
No, because they lost the first 2 games of the series.
They did.
So I'm not down here rah-rahing. But I'll tell you what, if we were in a spot that Cleveland's in, up, what are they up now? 5 games over the Royals? And we were playing a game and we were 40-20, I'd sure as heck be watching it instead of,
okay, well, I'll stay home then.
I can't listen because it's that kind of stuff.
I'll stay home if that's what you want me to do. But, I made a commitment. I knew the Guardians played Wednesday. They play this weekend against the
Marlins. Out at McAdams.
All right.
Game at 6:00. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, who are we playing? We got a chance to win tonight?
Kings tonight.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh. Everything's uh-oh.
Kings are pretty good. Let's pitch.
Whenever you have a game, it's uh-oh.
I don't want to see these 17-15 scores anymore.
What do you mean 17-15?
You put one up the other day. I don't think it was your score, but I don't want to see that. I want to see some pitching.
Sometimes you got those kind of games.
You do.
You never know what you're going to get.
The last game I ever played in Ohio for the Hilliard-Davidson, we lost to Lancaster 17-15. I made the final out of the season.
What a terrible way to go out in that one. Had you done anything in the game previously?
I had a double.
Just a double and 32 runs scored, and you pitched in a bloop double.
Yeah, it was a bloop double, actually. But I went 1 for 5 that day.
In a 17-15 game?
Yeah, I went 1 for 5.
Sounds like it. Sounds like you didn't hit the ball very well that day. Did you make any errors?
I don't think so.
That's good.
I'm so glad
I rarely made errors.
I'm so glad I didn't see that.
I lined out the hardest ball I hit all year to second base to end the season.
Here's what we have on the show today. 225, Taylor Eldrige from the Wichita Eagle. We'll talk about what it's looking like for Shocker basketball, mostly. We'll get his thoughts on baseball, too. Did you see Tommy Lepore entered the transfer portal?
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
He was on this show, right?
Yeah.
Before he pitched in the AAC tournament.
Correct.
Or was it after he pitched?
It was after he pitched the Thursday game.
After he pitched,
and he also started Sunday.
Right, and he pitched extremely well in that Thursday game, and we had him on, and he talked, and it was great interview. And my recollection is that he indicated, "Man, I love the Shocker. This is it." Did he? Didn't he not? Did he not?
I don't know that he said all that, but I didn't.
Wasn't that the indication?
I didn't get the sense that he was unhappy by any stretch of the imagination, or that he was looking for greener pastures elsewhere.
So that's the kind of stuff that I talk about that irritates me with the transfer portal. Because here's a guy who got all kinds of opportunities as a freshman, had a good year, was certainly a building block for what Brian Green's hoping to do at Wichita State. And then, boom, that's it.
Out of here.
I'm in the portal. It drives me nuts.
Well, I don't like it either.
Saying it since they started. That's my biggest problem. You can't build a program. Kids can come and go as they want. It's ridiculous. It might as well just be a lower league and a professional sport. It might as well make it a professional sport. They're making money anyway.
And then
Even in the big leagues, you got to be there 6 years before you're a free agent.
And then I heard today on the radio somebody was talking about when John Calipari took the Kentucky job, he was guaranteed $12 million per year in NIL.
That's pretty strong.
I mean, is this what we're going to grasp onto and love?
Do you think
we're going to love this?
Do you think a Shocker booster or somebody connected to the program, and you know exactly who I'll be talking about in this sense, would ever shell out that kind of money?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I can't imagine it. First of all, Wichita State's not playing in those waters.
Unless it wants to. What's stopping them? Theoretically.
You could literally buy a team if you wanted in college right now, in any sport.
I guess.
Well, how couldn't you?
I guess.
Get one of the kids to say, jump in the transfer portal. You're going to get this if you come here. I mean,
I guess
90% of the kids are probably going to do it.
But then it becomes a bidding war, and who knows where that ends up. I don't know.
Well, if you got $12 million, that's basically $1 million.
I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about it.
$1 million a player on average for Arkansas.
That's not going to be how it works.
I understand. That's why I said on average.
Right, on average.
That's
But
pretty good.
That's not how it's going to work.
I didn't say that's how it's going to work.
Yeah, but that's what you know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying.
No, I don't get it.
And I wish I was on the show yesterday because I would have just hammered you.
Why?
I'm going to be a little bit more adventurous. So we went and got some tacos. What?
Yeah, with
that's
all
your
kinds of
that's your
authentic
adventure.
Mexican stuff in them.
That's your like what?
I don't know, cilantro, onions.
You know what authentic Mexican is? Mexican. I mean, it's the same ingredients. I get that it's cooked differently.
That place is authentic Mexican.
Well, I hope we have a lot of authentic Mexican restaurants in Wichita.
You see what I'm saying, Duda? Yeah, I am being a little more adventurous.
By eating tacos.
Good job, Bob.
No, it was a quesadilla.
Okay.
Well, that's basically the same thing.
No, but it had all kinds of stuff on it.
Like what?
Like a taco. Like if you're
onions,
making a taco.
cilantro, guacamole.
You had guacamole.
Yes.
You ate guacamole.
Yes. I've eaten guacamole many times.
Well, then that's not being adventurous.
No, it is. It is.
Cilantro. Everybody eats cilantro. Look at Misty. She okay?
Of course I'm adventurous.
Yeah, cilantro. That makes you very adventurous. And onion. Good job.
Well, what do you want me to have?
Well, I don't know.
I don't
know.
like onions.
Go have some Indian food. Go have some Mediterranean food. Go.
All right, I will. They make it the same stuff.
I don't know about that.
You telling me they don't have meat?
Yeah, they have meat.
And cilantro?
I don't think there's cilantro in
What do
Indian
they have?
food.
They have onions.
I'm sure.
Tomatoes.
I don't think so.
Guacamole.
No.
What do they have?
Curry.
Bring it on.
Not a curry fan. Can't do
I've
it.
been known to curry.
What? Oh, jeez.
And you would have hammered me over that.
Absolutely.
By the
It
way,
would've
the
been
big
the whole
fella
show.
Anthony was fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I needed to
Had
stop
a
over.
wonderful appearance on the show yesterday.
They sounded good.
Did you hear
Parts
it?
I heard.
No.
Thanks a lot for listening.
Well, if I was able to listen, I probably would have been here. Does that make sense?
This is a guy vying for your playing time.
Uh-oh.
Well, if he's doing that good a job, fantastic. Good job. Good job, Anthony. I'm
Who was
proud
the
of you.
biggest threat with during your time with the Thunder? Some young guy. You had to feel a little bit competitive with somebody on the Thunder coming in, maybe trying to
Clates.
take your spot. No, Clates was his line mate. That's totally different. Clates, you're working in tandem.
As you got a little older and you had a young guy coming along, who was that? Who was that young guy?
There wasn't really a young guy. It was just me getting older.
So there was no young guy.
There was no real.
They didn't try to
real
replace you.
super good player that came in the last couple years I was here that I would say was at that level, I guess.
Well, that's good.
Listen,
good for you.
we understand. You locked down that position for quite some time. Let me just say this position, not locked down.
What position?
Ooh.
What position did
Either of your positions.
What position did he play?
Right wing.
What position did I play, Jeff?
You were a centerman.
I played left wing, you pair of idiots. That's awesome.
I just wanted to say centerman. I love saying that.
Clates was the centerman.
Yeah.
Who was the right
He
wing?
skated way better than I did. We had lots of guys that played on the right side for years.
Why'd you like the left side?
Because I'm left-handed, so it's easier to break out of your zone because you're on your strong side.
But you could play on the right side.
Oh, yeah, you'd flip. Guys would flip back and forth. Not a big deal, but I prefer to play the left side.
That
Makes a lot
makes
of
sense.
sense.
You could slap it a little better from over there.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. That's one way to put it.
Anybody else besides Taylor?
Yeah,
Is that it?
At 2:45, Mike Furches. We'll talk some pop culture, and whatever else comes up with Mike.
What are Duda and I going to do? We only have one headset between the two of us.
You guys go at it, and I'll throw.
We've had an incident with a headset.
There was a little incident before the show started today. We can't get into it. I'm not going to tell
yesterday.
Well, I should have
tell you who won.
I should have looked into it before then, but I just ordered some more cords and whatever.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out.
Just let Bob handle it.
Bob tried to handle it and failed.
Bob will order it. He'll get it here. Just let Bob do it. If there's money to be spent, Bob will take care of it.
Did this happen yesterday?
I believe
This
so.
incident?
Yesterday.
Were you here yesterday?
I was, but
it happened Monday.
Oh, it happened Monday.
Okay, it happened Monday.
We had our
because I wasn't here.
House being cleaned, and the vacuum ran over the cord and tore it up. And that person's been excused, and we'll move on.
Well, things happen sometimes.
I'm kidding, of course. He does a fantastic job. Just everybody makes a mistake once in a while.
It happens.
You
It
know?
happens.
Yeah, maybe it was your mistake.
No, I don't think so.
Leaving cords out like that.
Unless the woman is blind, I'm not going to take responsibility.
Two insults now.
Whoa.
I mean, yeah.
Sounds like an accident.
It's an accident. That's all it was. But it's now created a little bit of an issue.
A little bit.
Not much.
Because you're about as technically sound
Why don't you fix it?
as a walrus. I've had mammals know more about this.
Well, then bring one of them over.
A dolphin would be good. They're smart.
Dude is smarter than
Or
both
whale.
of us. Why don't you figure it out, dude?
Except with that stuff.
I'll
Just
figure
street-
it out.
street
Just
smart.
leave it
Street
up
smart.
to Bob. He'll handle it.
We'll get through it today. No big deal. Do it on the weekend.
Well, I want you to hear Mike
We
when
got
he's
some
talking.
time. Well, I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
I'll repeat everything Mike
I'm a
says.
cagey old guy.
Hope you do. I hope you do figure it out. We'll take a break. We've got Taylor Eldrige from the Wichita Eagle coming up. We'll ask him about the goings-on with Shocker basketball. They're starting their workouts. Their summer workouts are underway under second year now head coach Paul Mills. Taylor Eldrige, our guest next. Three-man booth, KFH.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
Yes, goal.
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
Have you ever covered a carpet stain with a rug? Ignored a leaky faucet? Pretended your half-painted living room is supposed to look that way? Well, you're not alone. We've all got unfinished home projects. Whether it's a door that sticks, or a disorganized closet, or an AC unit that only works half the time. It all matters. You just haven't taken care of it yet. But there's an easier way. Just download the Thumbtack app. You can search for what you need done and find tons of highly rated pros right in your neighborhood. Check prices, reviews, and book a pro right on the spot. Plus, you'll know what to tackle next, because Thumbtack is the app that shows you what to do, who to hire, and when. Pull out your phone and in just a few taps, say goodbye to all those unfinished home projects and say hello to caring for your home the easier way. Download Thumbtack and start a project today.
Worried about letting someone else pick out the perfect avocado for your perfect impress them on the third date guacamole? Well, good thing Instacart shoppers are as picky as you are. They find ripe avocados like it's their guac on the line. They are milk expiration date detectives. They bag eggs like the 12 precious pieces of cargo they are. So let Instacart shoppers overthink your groceries so that you can overthink what you'll wear on that third date. Download the Instacart app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
After investing billions to light up our network, T-Mobile is America's largest 5G network. Plus, right now, you can switch, keep your phone, and we'll pay it off up to $800. See how you can save on every plan versus Verizon and AT&T at T-Mobile.com/across America.
Up to 4 lines via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device credit service ported 90+ days with device and eligible carrier and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months.
I met a guy recently who told me that he spends roughly $250,000 a month. I talked to another person recently who made $50 million at the age of 30. What do you do with that money? How do you spend it? How do you not spend it? What do you invest in? If you meet a rich person, these are questions everyone wants to know, but you're too embarrassed to ask. That's the whole premise of MoneyWise. We talk to real people who have made a significant amount of money, and we ask them all about their finances. My name's Sam Parr, and the podcast is called MoneyWise. That's one word, MoneyWise. You can find MoneyWise wherever you get your podcasts.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Favorite Beatles song?
Taylor Eldrige joins us from the Wichita Eagle. I'm not talking about you, Taylor. You can open your trap as much as you want.
I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. So let's catch up on Wichita State basketball. They've started some summer workouts. They've got a bunch of new guys, a couple of incoming freshmen, 3 players, I believe, from the transfer portal. Kind of just set us up. What's their roster look like at this point?
Yeah, so I guess the headlines would be, you got 5, key returners from last season. Quincy Ballard is back, Xavier Bell, Harlan Beverly, Bijan Cortez, and Ronnie DeGray. So that's kind of the core from last season. Then you have 2 guys at the end of the bench that are back as well, and then you're sprinkling in 2 incoming freshmen, and then, like you said, 3 transfers from the portal that all will probably have pretty big roles on this team, I would imagine. Justin Hill is a point guard from Georgia, SEC experience. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Alterique Gilbert that championship year. I think he's going to play a similar role for this team, just really taking care of the ball, make sure the offense gets a good shot. A.J. McGinnis, a shooting guard from Lipscomb. He's going to do a lot of similar things to Colby Rogers did last year, kind of that sharpshooter, 40% from 3, really good at the free throw line. And then you got Corey Washington, a 6'6" forward, very versatile from St. Peter's. Incredible story, but, yeah, he's just a high motor, kind of in the same ilk of, Monty Jackson, Rashard Kelly, somebody like that that's just going to really get after it on the glass. Probably has a little bit more of a scoring punch than Monty or Rashard did, though. I mean, he averaged double digits last year and is a foul magnet because he's, the effort is just all over the place, and he gets so many offensive rebounds. So really good at the free throw line, too. So you could tell, what Paul Mills valued, what he wanted to improve on going into year 2. It was taking care of the ball, limiting turnovers, and then getting better at the foul line, which WSU really struggled from. And, when you lose so many close games like the Shockers did last year, those are 2 easy areas to clean up. And that's what they're hoping to improve and turn around for next year.
So what's going on with the final scholarship? I know they hosted a kid, I believe, from Arizona State. Is it Meeks?
Yeah, Zane Meeks. Yeah, he's a
sorry, I was just going to ask you, is that still the goal to get a big man, or are we so late in the portal now that it's maybe best player available?
Yeah, they're kind of keeping mum on that. They've hinted that they're close to signing someone. It will be a big. I don't know if it will be Zane Meeks, but I think they're going to get a little creative here. With the NIL in today's era. You can, walk-ons can make NIL. So, that's a way kind of around the 13 scholarship limit. You can bring someone in to walk in or walk on and kind of supplement them with NIL cash. That could be in the works. I don't have any names, anything like that, but I'm told that, they are bringing in 2 big bodies. So I think that's the expectation. I don't know if it will get done this week. I know there's a lot of paperwork involved, so they're kind of keeping mum on this until everything, all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted. They want to make sure everything is 100% before, anything gets out. So I do think that they will add at least 1 big, and then from what I'm hearing, maybe a second walk-on too.
Taylor Eldrige, our guest, Wichita State beat writer for the Wichita Eagle, Kansas.com. John Rothstein broke a little news about a tournament in Orlando coming up in November, and you followed that up by breaking some news of your own that Wichita State is indeed looks to be the fourth team in that round-robin bracket. Tell us a little bit about that field, because that's some highly intriguing early season test-worthy games.
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. A lot of college basketball, I feel like a lot, you can describe a lot of what's happening in college basketball is crazy right now. But in this case, those early season tournaments have really started to shapeshift, and they're changing. Traditionally, like when I got the contract for this event, it looked like the same old. It's an 8-team field. What was called the ESPN Events Invitational. It's traditionally a really strong tournament. Featured prominently on ESPN. 8 teams go down, really, usually a really good field. You play 3 games and call it good. And now it has shifted. And John Rothstein kind of broke that they're shifting to 2 4-team pods. And basically, when I followed up on that, I was being told that, the power conference teams are kind of going one way, and then they're kind of shoving the other guys to the side. So when John initially reported that, Florida, Minnesota, Wake Forest were all going in their own pod, and then they didn't know about that 4th team, it kind of suggested that Wichita State might be left out on the cold. And then, follow up, like a week or 2 later, and Wichita State got an assurance from ESPN from who I talked to, and they will be that 4th team. And then John reported that, a day after I did. So it seems to be that's what it's shaping up to be. So that's a big get for WSU. You want those high profile marquee early season games. And, I don't know if Wichita State will be chasing an at-large bid this season, but, those are the kind of games that really help you build, an at-large profile. And at the very least, it's going to where they are pretty early in the season, because, Wake Forest and Florida, those are borderline, top 25 teams already. And then, Minnesota is obviously, a power conference team as well. So, I think Wichita State will be an underdog in both games going into that. But so they're going to be able to go in and kind of, play relaxed, and, whatever comes out of it, I think it's going to benefit the team early in the year.
So, Taylor, the fact that they're now pushing mid-majors or whatever you want to call them out of these early season tournaments, they're trying not to get maybe matchups with Power 5. We know the Power 5 is trying to separate itself from every other college sports program. So how drastic will that shift be, even as Wichita State is concerned? Will it be just impossible to schedule games that really matter?
I think it's going to be tougher for teams in like the lower conferences. American is still regarded kind of like that on the cusp of being a major player in college basketball. So I don't think it's going to hit Wichita State too hard. They still have some name brand recognition, the tradition obviously. So I think Wichita State should still be able to schedule aggressively. They have that series they just scheduled with DePaul. I think, more regional opponents like that. We've seen them play Missouri, Oklahoma State, Baylor in recent seasons. So it'll be interesting to see if those Big 12 teams will still want to play, but I think they can still go around and find other power conference teams in the region. So I think Wichita State should be fine, but who knows at this point? It's kind of up in the air, and things are changing so dramatically. It's tough to tell, but I think just from talking to guys on the staff, I think they're pretty confident that they're still going to be able to schedule, aggressively when they need to.
Taylor Eldrige, our guest. Speaking of that, we know K-State's coming to Koch Arena. Has there been any word on whether that series will continue after this one? And have you heard any ramblings or rumblings about who Wichita State might be pursuing to play? And I specifically will ask you about the Intrust Bank Arena game. Is that still a deal?
Yeah, so start in order. Let's do K-State. Yeah, that's haven't heard anything beyond this season. You always hear about like those coaches who are friends they don't like playing each other. I don't know if that's the case with Mills and Tang. I know they're still very close, and I know they hate losing to one another. So far Tang is up in that series. So I don't know if that series will continue. We're actually talking to Paul Mills tomorrow morning, so that would be a good question for then. So we can maybe find that out tomorrow. Future opponents, no real rumblings. I did an open records request like a couple of weeks ago, maybe two weeks ago, just to make sure nothing had been signed, and it came back empty. All the games that I already knew about are the only ones they sent back. So I am curious to see, how they fill out this non-conference schedule, because you have the road trip to DePaul, the road trip to Western Kentucky, and then the K-State home game, and obviously the two in Orlando that will be top-notch too. Do they add another competitive game, or are they just kind of fill this out with bye games? That remains to be seen. Hopefully, Mills has hinted that they're closing in on that schedule being finalized. So I might put in another request here pretty soon to see if we can figure some more of that stuff out. But no rumblings from what I've heard. And I guess the one rumbling is that, Intrust Bank Arena game, from what I'm being told, that might not happen this year. They might be looking at playing a game again in Kansas City instead of Intrust Bank Arena. I think they've played that game, 13, 14 straight years. But again, that's, not finalized. I haven't reported that. That's just what I've been kind of hearing, is that it's trending that way, though.
The columnist and me just got fired up, but we'll deal with that later. Go ahead.
Just what have you seen as far as activity around the American? I know Memphis, they end up losing David Jones to the draft, but add a lot in the portal. I think Charlotte lost one of its best players. North Texas, a Rice guy went to KU to be a walk-on. So is anyone improving besides Memphis?
Yeah, UAB is probably going to be the preseason favorite. At least from where I'm sitting, they are bringing basically everyone back from that NCAA tournament. They bring back Yaxel, who was the defensive player of the year, probably going to be the player of the year preseason. And they've added a lot of good talent, the JUCO and transfer portal. So I think UAB is going to be that preseason favorite. Memphis, obviously, same thing. Every year, the total recycle, but they have a ton of talent. Once again, I think they might have too many mouths to feed. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I would bet that they're 1-2. And after that, it's completely wide open. Like you said, a lot of teams are in complete rebuild mode. I just put out a story today about, Wichita State. They're only bringing back 51% of scoring from last season, and that's number 2 in the conference. Everybody else has lost more than half of their scoring from last season. A lot of those teams have been decimated. FAU is kind of in total rebuild with a new coach. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out after those top 2. And, the door is open for Wichita State. They feel good about that retention, about that continuity that they have on their roster. Then you have the right pieces. I think Justin Hill is going to really, really help this team. And if he can deliver that poised play at point guard, then I think the Shockers, I think they could be eyeing, a top 3 finish if everything breaks their way. But, obviously when you finish 5-13 last season, you got a ways to go before you're, you prove yourself ready for those talks. But, just looking around the conference, it's completely wide open after those first 2 slots.
Taylor Eldrige with us. Final question for you. I want to ask you about baseball because we all feel like Brian Green had that team on a pretty good trajectory, but it's so hard to keep track of trajectories in this day and age. And we find out shortly after the season ends that several of those players hit the transfer portal, including Tommy Lepore, who probably was slated to be their number 1 pitcher next year. How do you keep the excitement? It seems difficult.
Yeah, that one was definitely a gut punch for the Shockers because Tommy Lepore, just from the outside looking in, it was just so bought into that culture that Brian Green was trying to set. You talk to anybody on that team, and Tommy was the dugout guy, the rah-rah leader. When he wasn't pitching, he was the one in the dugout just leading just that energy. And, he was one of the leaders, already as a freshman. And obviously he was getting the job done on the mound too. So yeah, he's a very highly, thought of player. So, they felt really good about their exit meeting, and they thought they were going to be able to retain just about all their young stars. But then, it's no secret that, teams reach out before, players even enter the transfer portal. I don't think that's a secret in any of these sports. And, I think it's easy to say that you want to come back, and then you start hearing the NIL possibilities, floated to you through your agent, other middlemen, and really tough to stay when you're hearing the, numbers as big as that. So, yeah, Tommy Laporte, that one definitely hurt Wichita State. But, you look at it, and, they have retained all the hitting core. No big names have entered for hitting. Losing Ryan Garrity was kind of tough. He was a really highly rated recruit, but never really translated. So, they, as it stands right now, they're still in a good position. But, that's just, we're on day 3 of the transfer portal. This thing goes the whole month. So, it's going to be a tense month in Wichita. But, they still have a lot of really good young players, a good young core. I think that, fans should still be excited about. But a big part of this is going to be finding arms, because like you said, Tommy was going to be the number one. They graduated Caden Favors. Nate Adler's gone now. So, they're going to have to find arms to be able to take that next step and really compete for an entire season.
All right, Taylor, I think we're caught up. Pretty good report from you today. We appreciate it. We'll talk with you soon, okay?
Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Taylor Eldrige from the Wichita Eagle.
Do you know your guy, Darnell Parker Jr.?
I didn't know that. He's our guy, Darnell Parker.
Yeah, he's our guy.
We enjoyed our conversation with him last year.
Got behind a couple guys in the middle infield and couldn't break his way into.
He got an opportunity early, but as I've tried to explain to both of you, when you have your opportunity, you got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, defensively he wasn't great, and
on this show at least, it could be argued that neither of you have taken advantage.
Well, fire us then.
Yep. Let me know.
We've got Mike Furches, who has kicked down the door with his opportunity. And while it fails with you,
as
Max
it always
seems
will,
to rise to that occasion. Mike, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. I actually like the Allman Brothers, so that's not a bad thing at all. Not as much as but I still like them.
Well, there you go. Duda was shaking his head. What do you have to offer? You get to ask Mike the first question.
Yeah, go Duda.
Mike, what's a movie we need to go and see? I've been waiting for a really good movie.
That's a dang good
Something
question.
to find. Just a good movie.
A good movie to go and see. Well, it depends on what kind of movie you like.
What kind of movie do you like?
Don't get too deep with Duda. He starts to lose interest.
Huh?
What's a really good movie to go see? Whatever you want to go see, go see something. Sit at the theater. I just feel encouraged, Bob. It's time to get back in the theaters. The crowds aren't so bad unless you go on a Friday night or an opening night and enjoy a movie and a big bag of popcorn. Hey, I'm getting a big, large popcorn and a large drink for free this week. So I don't have much to complain
That's huge.
about.
We've been saying that it's time to go back to theaters for 3 years, but nobody's going back to theaters.
Oh, there's folks that's going back.
Not really.
Well, I think the numbers say different. When's the last time you was in a theater, Jeff?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. What Mike's saying is that he's in theaters and he sees the people there.
Yeah.
Well, everything I've seen is that box office is down. The only time it went up was when we had Barbenheimer or Barbieheimer, whatever they called it, and The Fall Guy did bad. It was a big budget movie and heavily promoted. Nobody saw it.
And I'll say
nobody cares.
And I'll say this right now, and this is going to be a little bit critical of Mike. When you asked the question, what's a movie I can go see, did he really have an answer?
He did not.
I don't think so.
To tell people,
there you go.
To tell people what kind of movies that they like or don't like. If you like fantasy, then go see the new Mad Max movie. If you like something scary, then go see The Strangers Chapter 1. I mean, it just depends on what you want. I'm looking forward to see the new movie that's based off of the book club, loosely based off of the book club, because I've enjoyed that series. So, but it's not doing well in the box office. So there you go.
I mean, there's no movie that's upcoming that's more desirable or is creating more of a buzz. And we talked about it last week than The Bike Riders. And that's not here for a couple of weeks still. So
what's that?
Oh, it's a movie about a motorcycle gang, and it stars Austin Butler and Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I know who those guys are.
And those are, in today's world, about as big as it gets.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that. The movie that's interesting for me to watch this weekend, or not to watch, but to see how it does, is the new Bad Boys Ride or Die. Will the audience go back to see a Will Smith and Martin Lawrence movie? And
doubtful.
The last one that came out, Jeff and I went to see that together. You remember that, Jeff?
We did, yes.
Yeah, we went to see
I do
Last
remember.
Bad Boys.
It was good. I hadn't even seen the first two, and I still enjoyed the third one.
Yeah, it was. So I'm interested to see. This is the first big release for Will Smith, and I'm interested to see how it goes. So, the movie that I'm excited to see for me, just to see for fun, is Inside Out. Does that sound crazy? I love
Inside Out.
When it's animated. I saw the first one animated.
Okay.
Inside Out
it was
too.
Yeah, it was really good, and I was surprised. It was like Tro's on World Tour. I went to see because I see all kinds of movies. I went to see Tro's on World Tour, and that may be one of the funnest movies I saw all of last year. Just a lot of fun. So there is some decent animation movies that's coming out. AMC, I don't know if Regal is or not, but AMC's playing a lot of anime movies right now. I think there's 2 or 3 anime movies that are playing at some point in time through the week, which is unusual. That's a market that I've never really gotten into or know that much about.
We've got another installment of A Quiet Place, this one called A Quiet Place Day 1. It also comes out later this month. I like the first one. What do you think of that series?
I love the series. I think it's one of the better sci-fi series that's come out. I'm not typically a fan of sci-fi.
Is it a series?
About this.
It's the third installment.
I didn't know there was a second one.
It'll be
Go ahead, Mike.
Quiet Place 2, and then the Day 1, the beginning. I actually enjoy the premise of it as well. It's kind of a different, unique twist on the science fiction alien style movie, and visually, because of the nature that you can't make noise, there's a lot of visual communication that takes place in the series that I think gives a little bit of a different taste in regards to entertainment. You react to the movie differently than you would as if you're hearing everything. So the sound becomes incredibly important in a movie like that. So I am looking forward to that, most definitely.
And then later this month as well, we get the first chapter of Horizon, an American saga, coming from Kevin Costner, who spent forever working on this, not only time, but a lot of his money as well. It's got Sienna Miller, Sam Worthington. It feels to me like it might fall flat. Do you get that same feeling?
I'm not getting the feeling yet. It's just there's not much of a buzz about it. I mean, there's a little bit of a buzz, but it's nothing compared to some of the other films that you've seen coming out. I mean, you see a ton of stuff related to Mad Max and some other movies of that nature, but I've not seen that much. I've seen a lot of twisters, but regarding the other series, no, I've not seen that much about it on the horizon. It's kind of an interesting
when you mentioned
concept that you're announcing a series of movies, chapter 1, before the movie comes out, and that'll be out later in June. So I would think I'd be hearing more about it than I'm hearing right now.
What can't miss movie stars has the 21st century produced? So I don't want to hear Tom Cruise or George Clooney. Who are the A-list marquee actors that have appeared over the last 20 years?
Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
Gosling's one.
No one went to see his movie.
I'm trying to think of. I don't know if that's true because when I saw the movie, it was packed. The theater was packed, and the audience seemed to enjoy it. And it's still showing at 6 screens this weekend at AMC.
In the world? Oh.
No.
What movie are you talking about?
The Fall Guy.
Oh.
The Fall Guy.
Well, isn't he can't miss?
Apparently not.
Well, I disagree with you. And Mike, if I got Mike on my corner,
if he can't miss, you could tell me the last movie he made before.
Every actor misses occasionally.
No, but I'm saying, what else has he even been in that
Barbie.
Okay, that's a good point. Anyway, Mike, we got to go to break.
Well, I mean, just because you look bad.
Good job.
Was there a nomination related to that Barbie
me.
movie as well, Bob? I don't remember correctly.
What's that?
Did he get a nomination for that Barbie movie? I'm trying to remember if he did.
I don't believe he did, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, but there's others. I mean, you got Wolverine that's coming out. You got Ryan Reynolds, who's hard to miss. That does really well. Austin Butler, I think the movie that Bob brought up, The Backriders, I think that movie's going to be. I think that movie's going to be fairly.
I don't think he's in that category right now, but I think Austin Butler could be.
Yeah, he's
I was
there.
starting to say Robert Downey Jr., but Jeff wouldn't count him.
I would not.
Why?
Yeah.
Isn't he kind of a product of this century?
Of the 80s, sure.
The 80s?
Yeah, 80s. The Rock, I guess, yeah.
Is Hugh Jackman in that category, or is he still in today's category? I mean, would you count Hugh Jackman?
Rock is a 90s guy to me.
Hugh Jackman's not quite there, I'm afraid. I don't feel it with Hugh Jackman, but I do with Ryan Gosling. I think he's definitely the guy. So before we let you go, I want to ask all of you. My major source right now of entertainment, when I'm just sitting in my easy chair, is of course watching baseball and sports or whatever. But I like going to YouTube. I always find something that I enjoy watching on YouTube. What do you go? Is YouTube something you go to?
No, not very often.
Try it. I'm telling you.
I have before. You can always find, like you said, you can always find something on YouTube. But I'll go to a streaming service now, or there's lots of sports on. I've even been watching baseball when I go down to get ready for bed.
Wow.
Well,
what about you, Mike?
Puts me to sleep in a couple minutes.
There you
go.
go.
I go to YouTube a lot. I've got several channels that I follow on YouTube, and I go to YouTube more than any place else, Bob. And the thing I like about YouTube is if you start watching something, say if you like to watch Johnny Carson, they do a good job on the algorithms of doing things like making sure you get to see unique and different kinds of Carson. With ELO, I've done that, and I've seen concerts that I've never seen in the last week of ELO, and for me, that's saying something. They even have.
I've been doing that exact thing with Heart, and I found some really, really good stuff with Heart. So YouTube's awesome. Jeff, what do you go to?
YouTube's fine. I like Reels. Anything that's short and doesn't have to hold my attention for very long.
Reels is it's like the animated version of TikTok, right, Jeff? Or X?
No, Reels is basically TikTok, but you can get it on Facebook or Instagram. It's basically the same thing.
Jeff, I watch at least
maybe not quite as like viral, but it's.
I watch at least 35, 45 minutes of Reels every day. I love it.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's like 2 million Reels.
Hey, Mike, thank you. Always a fun conversation. We appreciate it.
Hey, don't forget Starship and Foghat tonight.
That's right, but I won't be able to be there. But Starship and Foghat at the River Festival, and looks like the weather's going to hold. So, good deal.
You guys have a great time. Have a good time at the ballpark, too.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
No problem.
That's a concert that will draw a lot of people at the festival tonight. And because they've been hit a little bit with bad weather, the River Festival has.
A little bit.
People will be anxious.
Fireworks tonight, too.
Anxious to get out and hang out tonight at the Wichita River Festival. We got an hour left. We'll come back. Do you have a game today for us?
No, it's not Friday.
Well, that's unfortunate.
It is. I thought maybe you'd have a game for us.
Maybe Jeff has a game.
I do not, and I didn't have one yesterday either.
Well, maybe you can come up with one.
I'd prefer not to. I think the conversation can flow.
I'd love to have a game.
Why don't you come up with a game?
I don't have time. I got other things.
I don't have time either.
I got things going on.
So do I. Too many things.
We'll maybe have a game when we come back, thanks to Jeff Lutz.
No.
Back in a minute.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
Yes, goal.
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
It's a great day to venture out in a spacious and capable Toyota SUV. Like the new RAV4. With available all-wheel drive, it can go just about anywhere. And with plenty of passenger and cargo space, you'll go from morning carpool to weekend road trip without missing a beat. Plus, with available features like wireless charging and a touchscreen interface, your Toyota RAV4 will keep you connected no matter where you're going. Or check out a spacious Highlander. With seating for up to 8, it's a hub for family adventure. You'll drive in comfort and style with available heated and ventilated seats and all the latest tech. And with available hybrid models, your new Highlander can save you tons on gas. Right now, your local Toyota dealer has more vehicles in stock and is making delivery on new vehicles almost every day. So don't wait. Buy a RAV4 or Highlander today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
I met a guy recently who told me that he spends roughly $250,000 a month. I talked to another person recently who made $50 million at the age of 30. What do you do with that money? How do you spend it? How do you not spend it? What do you invest in? If you meet a rich person, these are questions everyone wants to know, but you're too embarrassed to ask. That's the whole premise of MoneyWise. We talk to real people who have made a significant amount of money, and we ask them all about their finances. My name's Sam Parr, and the podcast is called MoneyWise. That's one word, MoneyWise. You can find MoneyWise wherever you get your podcasts.